Good evening, music lovers, fellow industry professionals, and any of the rest of you who are watching or listening to this podcast. My name is Ari Gonzalez, and this is Run It Back. For those of you who don't know, this is a weekly music business podcast where I give you the rundown on all that's happened this week in our tumultuous industry. I'm pretty late getting to record this tonight, so I'm hoping I can wrap it up as quickly as possible for you all. As per usual, we're going to start out talking about some new music that's been released this week. I usually talk about how there are 60,000 new songs added on average daily to Spotify. So it's impossible for me to get through everything, but if you would like for me to talk about your release, don't hesitate to contact me via email. Alrighty, with that being said, let's get into these new releases. DaBaby drops the music video for Sneaky Link, which caused a lot of commotion over on Twitter. Let me know your guys' opinions in the comments. Cardi B reveals that she's been recording a new album in a quote-unquote ghetto-ass studio. Shensi dropped Lick, which features Megan Thee Stallion. I'm sure you guys have all seen the viral trailer videos. We've got Fly Anakin releasing No Doubt, which was produced by Madlib. We've got Pop Music released by 2 Chainz featuring Moneybagg Yo and Beat King. We've also got Keep That Same Energy released by Homeboy Sandman. Next up, we have Mary J. Blige's Rent Money featuring Dave East, which is a breakout single from her most recent album that we'll talk about a little bit later. Next, we have Everyday released by Haji, BMW released by Bad Boy Chiller Crew, So Cool released by Big Crit. We have Burden of the Divine released by Chaos the Baker featuring Pink Sifu. And we have Gangsta Rap released by Fat Lip and featuring Blue, which was also produced by Madlib. Next up, we have Cold December released by Rod Wave. And then we have Bye Bye, released by Cypress Hill, featuring Dizzy Wright, and this track was produced by Black Milk. Next, we'll talk a little bit about Mary J. Blige's newest album, titled Good Morning Gorgeous, in which she enlists Usher, Anderson .Paak, Fabio Foreign, Dave East, and DJ Khaled, along with many others, in order to bring this beautiful album to fruition. Next up, we're going to talk about some recent drama and controversy. First, Neo says that R&B has become a much harsher genre, and he attributes this to society's outlook on love and the prominence of divorce, along with some other things. He also talks about how beautiful love is, and his disappointment in the change of the genre. I would love to have a conversation with him about this because I know for a fact we've got plenty of amazing R&B artists who still have that classic R&B feel, who talk about love in a beautiful way. Next, we have MMF boss Annabelle Coldrick, who says that record labels need to have more fair practices when it comes to licensing. She states that they can't have their cake and eat it too. Next up, Jay-Z briefly returns to Twitter to discuss his disappointment in his 1997 sophomore album, In My Lifetime, Volume 1. And this comes after Questlove actually made a tweet where he says, "Our main argument is his hate for Volume 1. He is embarrassed for trying to make a monster and not putting numbers up, but a lot of this LP contains his best moments." And when Jay returned to Twitter, he made an agreeable tweet to Questlove and elaborated a bit on that. Next, we have Off-Qual's chair, Ian Bachman, making a statement that music teaching in schools could be suspended and that those music teachers would be redeployed to other subjects amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this caused a lot of uproar, of course, from the music teachers themselves, but also amongst the music industry at large. Regardless of what is going on in the world, I think it's safe to say that creative education is extremely important, and we should not have music, art teachers, anything of that matter, teaching their kids history or math. Next, T.I. makes statements about deserving to be revered as one of the greats, and he calls out Jay, Nas, Lil Wayne, and Kanye West, amongst others, saying that not even they have anything on him. Next, we have producer named Self, claiming that Gotti took half of his publishing and gave himself the publishing for DMX's 1999 track, What's My Name, despite not touching the record at all. Next, songwriter and music producer Connie Beats says that the COVID-19 pandemic brought more blessings to the Nigerian music industry. And this is because, in his perspective, it gave creatives more time to work during the lockdown. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about some new news in live music. First up, Eric Bellinger and Sammy announce their Vibes on Vibes tour. Silk Sonic announces their Las Vegas residency, which has 13 dates at the 5,200-seat theater at the Park MGM. The Super Bowl halftime trailer comes out featuring Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar, who will all come together to perform at this year's Super Bowl halftime show on February 13th. Adele cancels her Las Vegas residency due to growing COVID numbers, and she made a live about this, which was extremely emotional for her. Finally, the Fugees' reunion tour is officially canceled, which I am personally extremely sad about. Next up, we're talking just a little bit of legal news. First up, Jay-Z, Meek Mill, Kelly Rowland, Killer Mike, and many others call for the use of rap lyrics as evidence in court against performers to end. I personally think this is super commendable of them to do because this is a huge problem. Second up, Carlos Stephan, a producer, among 19 other actors and music industry professionals in Georgia, have been indicted for PPP loan fraud. And finally, Devin Stephens, a music executive who works with musicians including Jay-Z, Destiny's Child, Usher, and TLC, claims that he is still owed about $4 million from his work with Akon, according to an amended complaint originally filed in a 2021 Supreme Court lawsuit. So next we're going to be talking about some acquisitions, investments, and partnerships. Firstly, Moneybagg Yo is gearing up to launch his own water brand, and he does this in efforts to reach a 9-figure salary that he is looking for. Hipgnosis and Blackstone acquire 80% of Kenny Chesney's recorded music royalties. Sony partners with Ceremony of Roses in order for them to become Sony's new merch arm. Pharrell Williams and Justin Timberlake join a $620 million investment round in an online security firm called 1Password. Warner Music Group has invested more than $10 million along with partnering with Roblox, and this comes along with the music industry and fans alike embracing the online game, along with its ability to host shows and sell virtual merch. S10 Publishing and a Japanese music company called Avex extend their joint publishing partnership. Warner Music Group joined hands with New York-based digital collectibles platform called Block Party. According to the official announcement, the deal will grant Warner Music Group artists and songwriters access to NFTs. It also claims to have created a new class of digital collectibles across the art, music, and sports world, which it says will enable users to share and earn value together. And finally, Nas joins a $20 million investment round in Africa-based mobile games publisher Carry First. Next up, some congratulations are in order because we're talking about performer accomplishments. A UK-based 4-piece rock band called Crawlers have recently signed to Polydor Records. Silk Sonic leads the charge at R&B radio as their song Smokin' Out the Window gives the duo another #1 single from their debut album, An Evening with Silk Sonic. Grammy-nominated producer and artist Murda Beats has recently inked a global distribution deal with 80A Worldwide. Lola Indigo has been named Vivo Lift's first artist of 2022. Kodak Black's Super Gremlin reaches #1 on Hot R&B and Hip Hop chart. Jazmine Sullivan scores her first platinum single with Pick Up Your Feelings. Chloe's Have Mercy is also now certified gold. And finally, The Weeknd's Dawn FM has started out at #2 on the Billboard 200 during the week of January 22nd. Next up, we've got some new industry updates. Market research for the industry in 2022 has officially been published, and it projects even more growth in the streaming industry, which is not too surprising. Parabolic Records is a new and emerging record label, currently in its pre-launch phase, making the rounds through publications. The label was formed by two music industry veterans and tech entrepreneurs, Chris Schmitty-Schmidt and Mark Hutchinson. Simon Perry has been named the president and head of A&R for North America at Centric Music Group, signaling their full entry into the U.S. market. Jennifer Carell has been promoted to Senior Vice President of Catalog and Retail Marketing at the artist service company AWOL. The Music Business Association partners with SoundExchange for an event series on the future of monetization in the music industry. It will start Wednesday, February 16th, and is a free event, so make sure that you check out the links in my bio to figure out how you can attend. UMG announces promotions across their global classics and jazz divisions. Brett Yorkman has officially been elevated to COO of Rock Nation. Spotify remains the top streaming platform, but is currently losing its market share. Lon Ray Gaba has been promoted to co-president of Black Music for Atlantic Records, and it is currently this year her 20th anniversary with the label. 2022 Grammys have officially been moved to Las Vegas and will be held on April 13th. Fortnite montage clips have increasingly been helping music discovery and marketing, so if you need your music to get out there, contact a gamer. Kick.io announces the launch of Vinyl, Virtually Vinyl, a music NFT project that has hopes of helping artists gain back the money they've lost from the shift in the industry to streaming. David Waxman has been appointed president of Ultra Records, and he will work extremely closely with the label and leadership team at Sony Music Entertainment to drive the continued growth of the label's roster. 50 Cent is producing Hip Hop Homicides via his G-Unit Film and Television, along with Mona Scott Young's Monami Productions at Lionsgate Television. Finally, we have Rip It Up launching a search for new talent while also tackling racial inequality in the music industry. So make sure you visit the article linked in the description in order to find out how to apply for the company. Unfortunately, as per usual, I will be closing out this episode paying respects to some folks who have recently passed away. Dan Einstein, co-founder of John Prine's Oh Boy Records, who also aided in its artist-owner counterpart, Steve Goodman's Red Pajamas Records. Dallas Frazier, who was a country songwriter who penned songs like Elvira from the Ridge Boys, Beneath Still Waters from Emmylou Harris, along with many other songs. On Sunday, it was the birthday of the late Aaliyah, who would have been 43 this year. Jerry Crutchfield was a multifaceted professional who acted as a record producer, songwriter, label executive, vocalist, and music publisher. He produced many major hit country records for folks like Tanya Tucker, Lee Greenwood, and Tracy Byrd. He also had a hand in gospel music, and his productions have been nominated for the Dove Awards. Sidney Miller Jr. was the Black Radio exclusive magazine and conference founder. Meatloaf, who was a British punk rock legend. And finally, Ronnie Spector, who was the lead singer of the Ronettes. With that said, I offer everyone's family, a peaceful grieving process, and I offer my condolences. I hope that you all enjoyed the second episode of this podcast, Run It Back, and I hope to see you guys all back here next week. If you guys are interested in the music playing in the background very faintly, make sure that you once again go to the description box where you'll find a link to my client's latest single, Wavy. Once again, thank you guys all for listening. I hope you found this episode helpful and enjoyed.